I remember like Adrien Brody for this movie, The Brutalist, that just came out. It was like
The Brutalist.
The Brutalist was awesome.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, you should see it because it's got architecture and design.
No,
it's also very intense.
I really like brutalism.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know enough about it to speak too much about it, but like apparently it's not actually brutalist. There's a whole controversy with the brutalist
about the
community.
Movie.
Yeah, about the movie.
So it's a controversial movie because they're like, this isn't brutal.
Yeah, basically.
Not brutal enough.
No, it's not brutal enough. But
the movie like black and white?
No. It's not black and white.
Let's make it black and white.
I don't think it's black and white. No, it's not.
Well, anyway.
It's muted. But so Adrien Brody won the best actor, but there was like a campaign to like to shoot it down. They were saying that they used some AI in the editing for his voice to like make his, because there's parts where he speaks in Hungarian.
Oh.
And there's like a part where just the voiceover and he's reading a letter that he wrote.
They made him sound more Hungarian?
They like manipulated his accent to make him sound more natural Hungarian. And everyone fucking lost their minds. No, I don't. Because the thing is, if you like actually edit a film, there is so much manipulation going on. I mean, like, I'm literally like
doing this since the 2000s.
Like, I'm literally always like playing with levels, and like even like some things an actor says, part of it may not even be that actor. Like
every industry these days, music.
Yeah.
Like even a really, really good vocalist, like Billie Eilish, for example, sounds amazing, no editing, whatever. She still edits her songs.
Yeah.
Like she still plays with the levels on her songs.
We're all editing with technology, and like, you know, you can talk about like, oh, I just said make the soundtrack for my movie and it made it. That's different than like, I'm going through each frame, each sound. Yes, I'm using the tools available and the technology. I mean, like back when sound came out, like sound film, like
just sound.
There was a period where there was a time when movies didn't have sound, the talkies. And then when sound got introduced, I read the book. There's a whole book about this guy who was a leading intellectual called Film Art. I forget his name, talking about how any film that has sound is not art.
What?
And furthermore, anything that's not 4:3 is not art. 4:3, black, anything with color is not film art.
He would be extremely dismayed to see the state of things today.
He would be like, where's the pistol?
He's cartoon. He's just like,
no.
Kids these days.
Yeah. So you always will, with the introduction and advent of new technology, you will, especially when it comes to art, you will always find a lot of people or vocal people who are going to say, well, because of this new technology, that's no longer art.
Yeah.
And it's like it happened when sound came out. But those people wouldn't say that the only film art is silent.
Yeah.
Black and white.
I think that AI generated art is considered art. It's just, I mean, I want somebody to say this is AI generated.
Yeah.
I don't want you.
It has to have a disclaimer.
You drew it or something, but
sure.
In some ways, still came from somebody's brain.
In some ways,
I've experimented with it, but I haven't like replaced the artwork in my house with AI art by any means. Like I'm still supporting like local artists and like buying prints from them and stuff like that.
Right.
I'd played with it before.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like it's about how much did you work on it. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess we're gonna just have to have like a meter on like
how much was this you and how much was AI?
You know, because I like Adrien Brody, the voice thing. Like I know that team of artists was working for thousands of hours, and they used some tool to like manipulate a piece of that audio.
It doesn't take away that he acted throughout the movie. It wasn't.
Exactly.
Like, this was a CGI person who we manipulated to look and act like this. Like there was still real skill that went into.
Yeah. All I'm saying is like the guy on his computer who types in a few words and it puts out a movie. Yeah. It's that there is maybe a categorization of like this is this kind of art, and that's different from, you know, this team of people worked for years. They used a piece of AI to like help elevate.
Yeah.
And make it more authentic sounding.
They would have gotten ripped to shreds had they not done that, and people thought that his accent wasn't Hungarian enough, or...
Why didn't you cast a Hungarian? I mean, he's part Hungarian, but like lineage, his ancestors.
Well, this isn't a good enough accent.
Well, right. And like, that's a whole thing. Like, there's a whole community of people who will always attack, well, that's a fake accent. Well, we're making it more authentic now.
Never like keep an audience completely happy.
And that's something that has been hard to learn. Like, I'm sure, with design, like you're never going to design something that is going to satisfy everything. You're never going to write a story that everyone's going to love. Like, and I think
we'll see my stuff on Instagram and be like, that's wacky.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my house.
I want black and white and metal and steel only.
Yeah, like I hate your design style. I'm like, sure. Okay, so you hate me.
Right.
So you just hate me. Just say that.
I like your design style. I just hate you.
Yeah. He's like, I would hire you, but you don't seem very likable at all.
But it's hard as artists and creative types, like, because we're sensitive people. So it is like, it is a rough road learning how to accept criticism.
It is, and I'm struggling with that too, because, I mean, I feel like I haven't gotten that much criticism, or maybe like...
Because you're amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. But, I mean, I don't expect every single client to get the first iteration of my designs for their kitchen, let's say, and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this. I have no notes. I don't expect that. I expect them all to have notes. And a couple of times I've had people be like, you read my mind. I love this so much. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't always work that way. And I just expect to make revisions. But I haven't had anybody like severely unhappy with what I've done. And I think that would be really hard for me to swallow if I got some very harsh criticism. Maybe because I'm like a bit of a perfectionist. I think it would like really bother me, but also because like, as a creative, you're bearing a lot of like your soul, and like,
you're being vulnerable,
extremely vulnerable. Like you're putting this out there and saying like, I thought this looked good, or I thought this sounded good. And like a bunch of people are going to come and tell me that I'm wrong and that my sense of taste is like way off and this doesn't actually look good or sound good or whatever. That would hurt to hear.
Yeah, it can. Mm-hmm. It can. Especially because for it to be my best, it has to be vulnerable. Like it has to be like genuine and leaning into real feelings, and that can be embarrassing. And honestly, like I think Quentin Tarantino said, like if you're not embarrassed by your family and friends watching your movie, you've done something wrong.
Because it's so personal.
Something like that, yeah. Like
you're showing somebody like your dreams.
Yeah,
you're
kind of.
Telling them like a secret.
Right.
Like
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I mean, I think it differs in a little bit like between me and you in our industries, because I'm designing for a client.
Sure.
When you're writing stuff, you're writing for yourself, right?
For the most part. I mean, I think I've been maturing it, so like finding the balance of like, okay, this is for myself and it's entertaining.
Like you want people to obviously be entertained by it.
Right. Cuz some of it is stuff that I don't relate to, some of it I do relate to. Mm-hmm. There's some feelings in there that are mine, and some that I'm like, this is everyone's.
Yeah.
Ideally, you're hitting nerves that everyone can be impacted by.
You want everyone to feel like they can relate in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes like the material hit closer to home.
Sure. And that makes it like an entertainment, which is cool.
Yeah.